Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce joins us now. He's a member of the PDP. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, there's been lots of reactions about several movements, maybe the CMN, the NIM, and all the movements. I know the PDP may feel hard done by the comments of the former president in his letter to the president, so perhaps understandable. But with the movements we've seen, particularly this latest one, can this take us or take those who believe in them to perhaps where they want to?
I think that the movement's logical response to the terrible state of affairs in the country now, the rising insecurity, the rising unemployment and poverty, devaluation of quality of life generally under the Muhammadu Buhari administration. So everybody is frustrated, and Chief Obasanjo's letter is just echoing what we all know, what is generally the opinion of people in the country.
Both about the PDP and the APC?
Yes, that's the opinion of people generally in the country, because frankly, the APC is in disarray. There's so many factions within that party. And the PDP convention, December 9th, I think it was, had promised to usher in a new PDP that respected the rule of law, respected the opinion of the people, that will conduct a convention in such a way that it would be transparent. That did not happen, and therefore a lot of people were very disappointed. And if the convention had been democratic and gave the impression of fairness, I think that you would have had a PDP that would be ready to take over from this administration. However, and so because of what happened at that convention, the general impression is that the two parties are really not good enough, that Nigerians should look for an alternative.
So let me then ask.
And this is the reason why all these suggestions are coming up.
So do you subscribe to the school of thought then that this movement is, or a coalition, whatever way, is going to be preferred other than the existing political parties?
Well, something needs to happen. And yes, indeed, a new movement needs to come about, but what we have now is not the solution, because all you get from the two groups talking now, the two movements, is we are going to do better than Buhari. We are going to be more transparent. We are going to improve the economy. How do you do it? I think that the only way that Nigeria can move forward is by embracing the ideology of restructuring. There are people in some of these new movements that think that restructuring means dividing Nigeria into 36 countries. Very ignorant. Therefore, if I don't hear any ideology from any of these movements, I know they're not going anywhere. What's going on now reminds me of when APC was so busy condemning the PDP. You know, we've had so many years of this, and I heard some former presidents saying, anybody but Jonathan. That is reckless and irresponsible comment. Anybody but the devil? So the point is, you go from a bad government to a worse one, which is what we had.
Speaking about ideology, did the current political parties, the ones that occupy the seats at the center, did they have ideology? Because they were elected, and many said they didn't have it.
They did not have it. This is the point I'm making, that the reason why we've been going around in circles in this country is because we keep saying that we are electing individuals. We think this man will become president and he would turn things around and the quality of life will improve and the economy will improve and the better security. But it's not about an individual. It must be about a system. It must be about an ideology. Somebody will drive that ideology. And I think that if you're not talking about changing the way things are in Nigeria now, where you have so much disparity, where you have Northwest with Northwest geopolitical zone with 7 states, and the Southeast geopolitical zone with 5 states, and Lagos State with about the same population as Kano State, having 20 local government areas, and Kano State having 44 local government areas, and Jigawa, which is less than half the population of Lagos State, having 7 more local governments than Lagos State. This is what must change for Nigeria to improve, because for there to be peace and progress in this country.
If you say that the movements are not the solution to the problems that we have, political problems that we have, and one will wonder, if you say that, does that translate, or do you see that the future in 2019 will suggest that there will be no movements, because a lot of people expected that, okay, they're expecting that you have members moving from the PDP, APC to the new movement, and if that doesn't happen, if, according to you, that's not the solution that it's actually a problem on itself, do you see people staying back in their parties?
Well, if they, you know what happened with the APC is a good example. People moved from PDP. They went to APC. And people don't change. You know, the same corrupt people left PDP. They're still corrupt in APC. In fact, APC is more corrupt than PDP, in my opinion, because a lot of the people that we drove away because of their corruption from PDP are now being housed and warehoused by APC.
Even though
they go in there, and that is the end of the investigation. So, look.
Even though you have people who
disagree,
dispute that fact, because they'll say, no, we left. Some of us left because of what was described as impunity within the party. But
that is true. Some left because of that, but some left because Jonathan refused to protect them. The Fed was protecting some people from EFCC, and it wasn't protecting them.
But if you could just go back to the point you were making on
this. But the point is that people left and they joined this party, but there was no purpose. There was no ideology behind it. That's why the thing collapsed within 6 months. The APC was never a real party. It was just in shambles.
So the APC is not the collapsed party. It's the party in power right now. So well, it's just a simple thing. It's a simple question. Do you think that people will stay back in their parties?
APC is in power, but it has no power because there's no power in the country.
Dr. Pierce.
There's no security in the country.
Dr. Pierce, do you think that people will stay
it's in shambles?
Do you think people will stay within their political parties in the face of this new movement?
Some will stay because you certainly have PDP, you certainly have APC. Then, if this new movement becomes a political party, you have another political party.
Okay.
And people can choose. My point is that what is the point choosing between these parties when none of them has an ideology?
Does the PDP,
until we find
exactly.
Including your party, the PDP doesn't have an ideology? Is that what you're saying?
If the PDP does not articulate and commit itself fully to the ideology of restructuring this country, then it's not different from APC. It's not different from these movements we're hearing now.
No,
until there comes a point where you have a political party that can actually commit, not pay lip service to, the idea of restructuring. A structural reform is necessary. For instance, do you see, now, the IGR, Internal Generated Revenue of the whole of the 19 states of the North, is less than 45% of Lagos State alone. And that's because the states are not generating revenue. Government is locked all the mineral resources of states in the exclusive list. Zamfara has gold, phosphate, limestone. Taraba has uranium. With the natural resources of all these places, Ondo State cannot be sitting on the second largest deposit of bitumen in the world and remain poor. These things must change,
Dr. Pierce,
and that's what we're talking about.
We need to go to break, but we'll return and let you spoke about ideology, which they don't seem to have, but we'd like to get your response to what they will say about that ideology question in a moment. Join us again.